All right, let's just get right into it. We hear the term big data all the time, right? It's everywhere. But what if I told you that the way most people understand it is, well, just plain wrong? Today we're going to clear up the confusion and find out what big data really means.
When you hear big data, this is probably what pops into your head. It seems obvious, doesn't it? Big data. It's gotta be a whole lot of data. Super simple.
Yeah, about that. From an engineering standpoint, that definition is completely wrong. It misses the entire point, actually. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why and what big data really is. So, to really get it, we have to rewind the clock a bit. You see, the whole idea of big data only makes sense when you understand the problem it was designed to solve, a problem that popped up when our old ways of handling information just couldn't keep up anymore.
You know, things started out pretty simple. We had tools like Excel, just basic rows and columns. Then we got a bit more sophisticated with relational databases, or RDBMS, which let us connect different sets of data, like linking your customer info to their order history. But as companies got huge, especially online with millions of users, these systems hit a massive wall, a bottleneck. All of a sudden, asking for simple information could take hours. Everything just ground to a halt. And that became the billion-dollar question. You've beefed up your server, you've packed it with all the memory and processing power you can buy, and it's still crawling. What on earth do you do next?
Well, the answer wasn't just a small tweak. It was a total mindset shift. The old way of thinking was to scale up. Just get a bigger, stronger, faster computer. But there's a limit to how big and strong one machine can get. The new idea was to scale out. Instead of one super strong person trying to lift something heavy, imagine a whole team of regular people lifting it together. You use lots of normal computers all working in parallel. And right there, that is the key. That change in thinking, from scaling up to scaling out, unlocks the whole concept because it shows us that the real meaning of big data has almost nothing to do with the data itself. It's all about the architecture.
So here's the big takeaway. Big data isn't data. It's an architecture. It's a specific blueprint for building a system where the work is spread out across many different machines. Think of it as the design for the factory, not the stuff being made inside it.
And this way of building things changes the game entirely. It makes distributed computing possible, so jobs get done way faster. It means the system is built to be scalable. If you need more power, you just add more computers to the team. No big deal. And it's perfect for handling not just a lot of data, but data that's coming in super fast or data that's really messy and comes in all shapes and sizes, like text, images, and videos. Now, this next part is maybe the most important thing to remember. A system built with a big data architecture is a big data system from the moment you switch it on, even if you've only put 10 rows of data into it. Why? Because it's not about how much data you have now, it's about the system's potential to handle a massive amount later without breaking a sweat.
I can almost hear what some of you are thinking. Wait a minute, I've heard about the 3 V's of big data: volume, velocity, and variety. What about those? That's a great question. And here's the classic mix-up. The 3 V's aren't the definition of big data. They're the reason you need it. They're the problem statement. When your data has huge volume, is coming in with high velocity, or has a ton of variety that your old system can't handle, that is the reason you need to build a big data architecture. The 3 V's are the why, the architecture is the how.
Okay, let's make this super concrete with an example you probably use every day. Think about Google Sheets. Looks like a simple spreadsheet, right? Kind of like Excel. But is it an example of big data? The answer is yes, absolutely. And this is the perfect illustration. To you, the user, it just looks like a simple table. But behind the curtain, what's really running the show is a massive, distributed, big data architecture that allows millions and millions of people to use it, all at the same time from all over the world without it ever crashing. The app itself is built on the whole scale-out philosophy.
So, okay, architecture, not amount. Got it. But you might be thinking, is this just some nerdy semantic argument? And the answer is a hard no. In the real world, this one little misunderstanding can cause huge, expensive problems for companies.
This kind of communication breakdown happens constantly. The business team says something like, "We need a big data project for our customer list." All they mean is, hey, we have a large list. But the tech team hears the buzzword big data, and they immediately start designing this incredibly complex distributed system. What happens? They spend way too much money, build something way too complicated, and the project ends up failing because it wasn't what the business needed in the first place.
So how do we fix this? The answer isn't to go out and buy some new, fancy technology. It's not a tech problem at its core. The real solution is about people, and it's about communication.
The fix is something called data literacy. It's really just about getting the business folks and the tech folks to speak the same language. It's making sure everyone in the room understands that when you say you need a big data solution, you are specifically asking for a scalable, distributed architecture, not just a bigger hard drive.
So, if there's only one thing you walk away with today, let it be this. The crucial point is that big data is not about how much data you have. It's about consciously designing a system that is built to grow and scale from day one.
And that brings us to a final question to take back to your own team. The next time the topic of data comes up in a meeting, just listen. Are people talking about the size of your data right now? Or are they talking about the architecture you need to support your data and your business in the future? Trust me, knowing the difference can change everything.